I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening. Welcome back to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. Guys, I love this so much. And I love that you love this so much. And I love that Carrie Thompson.
Yay! Thank you. I want to start out the podcast by showing our listeners and viewers something. For those of you that are listening, you will not know what I'm doing. But for those of you that are watching, look what my sister sent me in the mail. Yes, it is a refrigerator magnet. You guys, if you can't see this, I'm holding up the most hideous magnet in the whole entire world. And it says Barcelona on it. The joke is, now you guys are in on a family joke. I always say to my sister, she's like, who buys magnets when they go places? So literally all the time, I'm like, did you buy me a magnet? And yes, she bought me a magnet. So
every day, you guys, every day of my trip, 18 days, every day, did you buy me a magnet? Did you buy me a magnet? Did you buy me a magnet? And finally, I'm like, I got to pick out the most hideous magnet ever. And I found one. It's terrible. And those of you watching on YouTube, you can see the horrible thing. And it's from
awesome.
Barcelona.
Oh, and everywhere you go, I'm going to expect one, and I want them to be ugly. And they're all going on my fridge because someday when I die, my kids will be like, what do I do with Mom and Aunt Christy's magnet collection? And they'll be like, sell it on YouTube or sell it on eBay because Aunt Cristy was famous. That's what they're going to say.
I love it. Well, I also have something to show you guys. I wanted to let you guys all know that oil.
Oh,
and
man.
Those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can see that I'm holding up 2 bottles of olive oil, but not just regular olive oil. This is a company that we partnered up with called Fresh Pressed Olive Oil, and they're wonderful. And you can go to coderedoliveoil.com and learn about it and see what we can do for you. Because Carrie, and these are almost empty. These are
Cristy,
the 3 we get.
I'm blowing through mine. I am blowing through mine. It is legitimately the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. You guys, I'm high class. Here we go. My chickens, when they make me eggs, they are very well off. They get their eggs get fried in that olive oil. If you can't be happy in fried eggs in that olive oil, it's like a whole world is opened up to you when you have a quality olive oil. Yeah. $1 for your first bottle. $1 to try the first bottle. It's amazing. Once you try it, I mean, I don't even know what to do with the olive oil. It's sitting in my pantry, Cristy. My big.
Well, I thought about that. I told Miles that. I was like, what are we going to do with all this Costco olive oil? Like, well, it's not nearly as good as fresh pressed olive oil that we teamed up with. And it's funny because on my trip, I put olive oil on everything. And people are like, you're putting olive oil on that? And I was like, yeah.
I met the owners, Megan and TJ, had breakfast with them in Louisville. And I loved it because we sat down to eat, and TJ took out this really cool little bottle, Cristy, and he goes, you want some olive oil? And I was like, heck yes, you're my new favorite person to go to breakfast with. And he drizzled it, and then I drizzled it on my eggs. Guys, Code Red, Fresh Pressed Olive. What is it, Cristy? I said it wrong.
Yeah, coderedoliveoil.com.
I'm sorry.
And you can go and read about it.
Yes, please do. This is an amazing family company. We love them. They're really legit. Some of the nicest people I've ever met.
We only team up with companies that line up with our way of thinking, that line up like the Swanwick sleepwear glasses. Of course, we want to block the blue light. So, of course, your brain can make melatonin because you ain't sleeping, you ain't losing. And when we team up with the olive oil people, we think that's a staple, or it should be in your diet, and so on. So we wanted to mention TJ and Megan at Fresh Pressed Olive Oil, coderedoliveoil.com. You can go. It's a beautiful website and read about it. I believe that Code Red Rebels that sign up with TJ and Megan, they get Code Red recipes that you can use, like with your own homemade salad dressings. What?
Oh, yeah. Megan said, why? She said to me when we were talking about this, why are people not making their own salad dressings? And I was like, I don't know, because your olive oil is so good. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really good. Guys, we have got a great subject for you today that we are just so excited to talk to you about. I recently, Carrie, and for those of you watching me mess with my hair, hold on a second. I got a little hair. There we go. So I recently was at an event, and I'm not going to go into all the details because I don't want to. I certainly don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I was at an event, and I heard this person make a reference to their child being perfect and being pure and being not having any flaws, and I was like, ooh, boy. And I noticed that the person that made this comment was awfully judgmental of the other people in their life and other people around them. And it was very snooty and snotty. And she was looking at her nose at the rest of us. And it was just uncomfortable. And I was like, boy, howdy. But the reason I bring this up now is because, boy, we sure forget, because I know the backstory of this person. This person didn't come from money. This person has made a lot of mistakes in her life, and yet she stands there and judges other people. And I was really surprised to see that. But a lot of our rebels, sis, do the same thing. They end up going through a challenge, a 10-pound takedown challenge, and their eyes are now opened, and then they now judge other people in like grocery stores and stuff.
Cristy, I never want to forget where I came from. I never want to forget what it felt like to be fat Carrie, because, and this is why it's important to remember where you came from. It's not really hard to go back there if you're not careful. It's not hard to go back. People, you guys, how many, this is an example I want to use, Cristy, even more than weight loss. How many, I say this lightly, but like how many ballers or rappers, they got the millions, and then they got they're spending $2 million on their grill and $50 million on cars, and then they're completely broke. Now, this does not happen to everyone. I'm not being judgmental of a group of people. It's just an example is you could be back where you were if you're not so careful. So it is so important to be so mindful of where you came from. So mindful of where you came from. That's why in the grocery store, you ain't never going to catch me saying a word, because I've been there with the 2 screaming kids and everyone's hungry, and I'm just trying to put fruit roll-ups and chips in the cart and just get them home and get them fed.
And people say that to me. They go, Cristy, I bet it drives you crazy when you go to the grocery store and you see all the junk in people's carts, and you just want to pass out your card to them. First of all, I would never in a million years ever do that unless somebody specifically asked me for my card. I would never do that. But no, I don't feel disgusted. I don't feel that way. You know what I feel when I see somebody in the grocery store or the Costco food court or something like that, and they have just all kinds of processed, sugar-laden, chemical crap foods in their cart. They don't know any better. I feel pity for them. I don't know if they don't know, but I know that nobody out there means to poison their kids.
Oh gosh. And Cristy, it legitimately breaks my heart. Like my response is similar to yours. So when I see someone that is struggling with their weight, and they have children they're towing who are throwing fits because they're addicted to sugar, and they're yelling and screaming for sugar. And I mean, they're an addict. So you're all addicted. You're all going to the store. This mom is tired. She works a lot. She's trying to keep the house clean. She may have a poo-poo for a husband, or, vice versa. You never know. I don't know what's going on in this woman's life, but I've been there. And I look at all that, Cristy, and it breaks my heart. It makes me want to cry. It makes me want to walk up to her and give her a hug and just say, I get it. I get it. I would never say, you know what? Let me talk to you a little bit about Code Red. That's like, let me talk to you a little bit about, do you know about the Bible? I mean, nobody wants to hear that at the grocery store.
Right.
Can I talk to you about our Savior, Jesus Christ? What? No. No. I had someone do that to me the other day at the convenience store. She walked up to me and she's like, can I share a scripture with you? And I was like, here we go. Everyone knows who that person was. I don't even have to say it. But it's the same idea, Cristy. It legitimately breaks my heart. And I see rebels that think they got this. Mm-hmm. You don't know if you got this. And you're being really judgy about the people at the store. And just so you know, that was you 10 pounds ago. That was you 20 pounds ago. Maybe that was you 100 pounds ago, but let's never lose our compassion and never forget what it was like to be that person.
Yeah, that was not so very long ago. I like to say that. Oh, not so very long ago, that was me. And you got to think like 30 days ago, because the challenge is 30 days. 30 days ago, that was you. And
Yes.
now you're looking like, psh, like, and oh my gosh, guys, these guys don't know what they don't know. Most of them don't know that real food, water, and sleep is the key. They don't know that the goldfish crackers, the Eggo waffles, and the Pop-Tarts are poisoning slowly. They don't know that if that child gets type 2 diabetes, that is blood on their hands. They don't know that it's causing them to not be able to sit still in class. They don't know. And it's don't do that. Don't put yourself in that position and pass that judgment. Ooh, that's dangerous.
Well, just because it could come right back. I mean, you are falling off the wagon away from being where you were. Now, of course, we teach you in the Code Red lifestyle to put safeguards in place. We teach you how to live the right kind of life. We teach you. We're not letting anybody fall off that doesn't want to fall off. Like Cristy said, there's no bread and candy floating in the air that's going to magically fall into your mouth. But it is so easy to go back there. When I have been judgmental in my spirit, it has stopped me. And it said, Carrie, not too long ago, you struggled at that weight. You were that weight. You had those problems. And Cristy, this goes for other things. Here's a great example. When I was a brand new nurse, I did not know what I didn't know. And trust me, when you get out of nursing school, y'all, any nurses out there, you don't know anything. You just know how to not kill people. That's about it. And so I remember then as an experienced nurse, other nurses being like, I'm like, she's been a nurse 2 months. Mm-hmm. Just, you guys, it wasn't that long ago that you were that nurse. It wasn't that long ago that you put that stethoscope on for the first time and you were scared to death to walk in that room. I've had nursing students, Cristy, be like, so do I just go in and do I touch them? Well, yeah, that's nursing. You're going to have to touch them eventually. But I would never chide them about that because, oh my gosh, I remember standing outside the door and being like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to walk in here and pretend like I do. And so it is so easy to be judgmental in all areas. I'm sure, Cristy, with your fitness journey, it's so easy. I see people at the gym that are on, of course, trying to lose weight by going to the gym, but that have a ways to come with getting in shape. And and I see them do the exercises wrong. And I think, yeah, but Carrie, a year ago, you were doing all the exercises wrong. You didn't know anything. So, I mean, you were doing all of it wrong. You couldn't even walk the day after you went to the gym because you hadn't exercised in 25 years. So it's so important to keep this in mind for not just weight loss, not just the Code Red lifestyle, but for everything.
Yeah, for everything. And you brought up the gym. I feel so bad for people at the gym. They're trying so hard and they think that they're trying to lose weight. They're trying to lose weight. Very few people actually want to be at the gym. I mean, let's just be, come on. Even myself, like sometimes I don't want to go, well, I love the gym. Very few people freaking love the gym. Like whatever, come on. And so, but I see these heavy people at the gym and my heart breaks for them because they're trying so hard. And I see them do things wrong, like you just said. And you never make fun of somebody. Like what the heck? They're trying, they're doing what they know. And guys, my gosh, that was you. They don't know. People are trying Nutrisystem. They're trying Weight Watchers. They're trying because they don't know about Code Red. They don't know about real food, water, and sleep. They don't know the proper human diet is the one that when you eat real food and you drink water, you sleep. And so for us to pass judgment on that, oh, shame on us. We don't want to go down that road, guys.
Cristy, what do you think it is about passing judgment? Do you think it's just that we want to feel like we've mastered it? Is it that we're insecure that we don't have it? I mean, I guess this is kind of a mindset thing. Like, what is it that makes us want to be like, and I find myself like I see someone doing the machines and instead of sitting up and just, you guys can't see me, but just pulling straight back, they're going like this. And those of you that can't see me, I'm rocking way back. So you're using your back when you should be using your arms and your shoulders. So I look at that and I go, Well, I know how to do that the right way. Well, why do I do that? Why? What is it about me? Am I insecure that I'm not doing a good job at the gym? Do I think that somebody's? I don't know. What do you think it is about us that makes us
like? I think for when it comes to the grocery cart part, it's this arrogance. It's just better than thou. Like, well, I don't feed my kids that. You did 30 days ago. Well, I don't feed my kid because it's a snotty. And I see sometimes in our Code Red groups, I'll see a snotty, like a making fun of a snarky post where they were getting everybody to laugh along with them. And they'll say, I can't believe that she put, and we'll take it down. We don't allow that snarky stuff. And so I think it's just this arrogance that, well, I wouldn't feed my kids goldfish crackers, but you just did before the challenge.
You think it's always an arrogance, or do you think sometimes it is really just insecurity about?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it can totally an insecurity. I think a lot of things stem from insecurity. You won't ever see me arguing with somebody because I am so secure in Code Red. I'm so secure in myself that, people can come at me at all angles and I just smile and I don't have any need. I went to an event recently, another event, and I was getting just all kinds of just bad energy coming my way and I just blew it off. So when you're secure in yourself, you just can blow things off and that's totally fine. But there is a percentage of people, and I know you're listening to us right now and you're like, but I'm not being judgmental. I'm just wanting to help. Yes, there are a percentage of people that go, oh, I wanted to give them a Code Red card. Yeah, and we get that too, guys. We get that too. But please don't do that because that is like handing somebody a Jesus track.
Cristy, do you have a moment? I'd like to, do you know Lord and Savior? I'd like to share a scripture with you if you have a moment. Hey, I'm all for proselytizing. Don't be sending me a message saying I said no proselytizing. I mean, we have to spread the good word, but there is a time and a place, and your personal testimony will mean more than anything else. I'll say to people something like, yeah, well, I've lost 100 pounds and kept it off. And that's all I have to say.
Yep.
That's all I have to say. And then if they're ready, they'll say, oh my gosh, tell me more. I'll be like, funny, I run this company.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But I loved, Cristy, that you were so secure. This is what I love this about you. I love lots of things. But one of the things I love about you is that your last vacation that you went on at the time of this podcast, you didn't tell anybody what you did for a living. She's like, I'm just a trophy wife. Oh, they're probably like, wow, what a trophy wife. But I love it that Cristy did not feel the need. And I got to tell you, I'm not there yet. I still name drop and degree drop. But I mean, that she's so secure in what she does. She doesn't feel the need to explain herself. She doesn't feel the need to judge. She doesn't feel the need to talk about it. She just lets her life be the example.
Well, thank you for saying that. But I got to share a pretty horrific mistake with you guys that I made. That's terribly embarrassing. And I learned a big lesson from it. I was on one of our trips a couple of years ago before I learned this lesson, and I had been just spreading Code Red all over to our group of travelers where there's about 155 people that were with us on this trip, and I was just preaching Code Red and telling everybody. And then at the very last night of the trip, in the dining room on the middle of the dance floor, I asked if I could get the mic so I could talk about Code Red to the group.
You did not.
I've never told anybody this because I'm telling it to thousands. I'm so embarrassed. And so I got up, Carrie, and I started talking. I know. Oh my God. I'm feeling myself getting hot right now. I'm
behind the Barcelona magnet.
And I got the mic. They did not invite me to speak. I took the mic from the lady that was the director of the trip, and I was just like, talking all about it, and nobody responded. Everybody just stared at me, and nobody clapped, nobody smiled, nobody nothing. It was extremely awkward. And then when I sat down, Miles turned to me, Miles, who says he loves me, but he says, never speak unless you're asked to speak. And I had never forgotten that. And I was like, I'm so glad it was the last day of the trip because I was so humiliated that I did that. I thought everybody would just want to hear about Code Red. Why would you not? Because I spent a whole 2 weeks hearing about their aches and pains. Well, my gosh, That's all related to your diet. Why wouldn't they not want to hear about a better way? Well, it was the wrong time, wrong place. I was not invited. I humiliated. It was far beyond embarrassing. I humiliated myself, and Miles said, never speak unless you are asked to speak. And I learned a huge lesson from that. And so I never bring up Code Red unless somebody asks.
Cristy, that's like walking up to somebody and being like, are you pregnant? And they're like, no.
Right.
No. One time I went to, this is a funny story. You guys will like this, to lighten the mood after that horrible story. That's like a first period story, Cristy. That's horrible.
Yeah.
One time I went into, I was working at a small hospital in the ICU, and they were really, really busy in OB, and we didn't have a lot of patients in ICU. They said, can you go over to OB and help? And I was about 9 months pregnant with my last daughter, Anne Marie. So I was like, yeah, if you need me in OB, basically, has everyone else died? I don't know, like it's not my area of specialty. They said, we just need you to recover a C-section patient. And I said, okay, I'll go over there and recover them. Well, this person's baby was very sick and being life flighted out, had to have an emergency C-section. So they were legitimately packing up the baby, which is quite the process with the life flight crew. And they were recovering the mama in the hallway. So, she could see the baby and whatnot. So I'm out there and I'm helping. I'm trying to, it's a horrible situation, emergency C-section. Everyone's very emotional. It's very tense. And I come down from ICU, know nothing about OB except for the fact that I've had children. So I'm helping and I'm trying to kind of like, are you okay? Are you having pain? I'm taking vital signs. And then she looks down at me and she's crying and she goes, oh, when's your baby due? And in front of the whole group, I said, I'm not having a baby. Obvious. I was like 9+ months pregnant that everyone looked, of course, shocked. Then they all started laughing. It was like the best thing I could have done in such a terrible situation. So it was really funny. Like my tummy was sticking out to here, but it was funny. Like, oh, great. We got the smart mouth ICU nurse down here. I'm not having a baby.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. Sometimes there's a time and a place, and that was the right. It was a gamble making that joke, and it paid off. But trust me, there's been many times when Cristy and I have said things. In fact, my whole entire life, when I have been judgmental, when I have said the wrong thing, when I have stepped out and thought it was the right time to bring something up with somebody, and it has just blown up in my face. And so I have found when it comes to religion, when it comes to politics, when it comes to weight loss, and when it comes to raising kids and giving advice on marriages, it's probably better just to keep your judgments to yourself, because people don't necessarily want to hear what you have to say. And it's always super important. Just the other day, a relative of mine was struggling with their relationship. And someone was like, oh, me. And I was like, I got ready to be like, well, you know what I do? And I was like, it's none of anybody's business what I think about their relationship. Mm-hmm. Because not too long ago, I've been in a terrible relationship and not in it anymore, but I don't have any room to speak when it comes to that. Remember where you came from, Carrie. Yeah. Carrie, remember that you grew up, and again, not knocking my parents, in that double wide trailer outside of Orofino, Idaho. And you worked and you played 3 sports and you worked at the IGA bakery and you had a car that had only 1st and 5th gear. Don't forget that. Don't forget that when you drive that nice Jeep down the road.
Yeah.
Don't forget that when someone's broke down the side of the road, that could have been you in high school. Don't forget that when you meet that kid that's snotty to you, maybe at Taco Bell, maybe they're in the same situation that you were when you were in high school. Don't forget, Orofino is really not that far away, you know?
Ooh, oh, yes.
I don't preach.
Yeah, no kidding. Guys, people are gonna ask you one of 2 questions. They're gonna either ask you, why are you doing that? Or they're gonna ask you, so what are you doing?
Right.
And one of them means they're not ready, and one of them means they are. There is a time and the place to tell people about Christ, or tell people about your weight loss journey, or tell people about how to properly do a certain lift in the gym. All right. There's a proper place. There's a proper time. When you are asked, then please feel free to share your heart with them. Feel free to give them a 4x6 What is Code Red card. Feel free to tell them about the 10-pound takedown. But my gosh, please be so careful with that judgment.
Just don't forget. Our mom used to be like, hey, you know what? Don't forget. And I'd be like, oh, I hated that. It's true. I was mucking out stalls. I was making $3 an hour. So you know what? Cristy never forgets the care center in Orfino, Idaho. You never want to forget where you came from. And the same thing with weight loss. It's easy to look at people that aren't losing weight as fast as you and be like, ugh. But guys, you need to look at where they came from, where they're headed, a trend. I mean, it's just so important to keep that in mind. And truly, it does not matter what any of us think about anybody's journey. Our business is our business. If they want to be 600 pounds, that's their business unless they say something to you. You just can't. You just can't. But yeah, Cristy, while I've got you, would you like to hear about our Lord and Savior? No, I'm teasing.
Can I just say that one time I had a friend that wanted to, she was a certain religion that tried to get people in their church. And it said, hey, why don't you come over for dinner or something? And invited me over and totally masked it as just a fun get together with popcorn and movies or whatever. And then when we got there, they totally tried to get us in their church. Oh,
really?
That's off subject, but.
Or that or Amway. And again, I like Amway. I like their products. But one time we went over to these people's house for dinner when I was a kid. And it was a big deal going to somebody's house because we did it, but we didn't go to people's houses that weren't our churches very often.
Right.
Because our family was very centered around church. So we were like, this is one of my dad's coworkers. And I don't know if Cristy remembers this or not, but we went to their house and they were going to have dinner and all this kind of stuff. And we were like, wow, that'll be a great opportunity. And we get there and I can see mom and dad are trapped in the living room talking about Amway. And we got in the car and go home. Our parents didn't say much in front of us because, they were very careful and they were great parents. But I could see the tension on their faces. It was like, well, that was not a true friendship reach out. So make sure that if you reach out to people, it is truly in friendship and because they've reached out to you. And again, don't forget the Double Wide in Orfino. Don't forget the IGA Bakery.
Shoot.
Don't forget the Orfino Care Centers of your life. Don't forget your Plymouth Arrow that had first and fifth gear. Don't forget the old farm truck that you drove to school. I'm sorry, mom and dad, but that had the rusted out floorboard and you could see the road going by. I'll never forget, Cristy. I'm making you laugh. I'll never forget delivering pizzas as a sophomore at Lewis Clark State College in my little white Subaru that had no heat. Don't forget your car with no heat. It's really easy to do, folks, but just don't forget.
And let me add a few in here. Don't forget. I was a hot shot trainer in New York, cover of magazines, my own MTV show, all these fancy schmancy fighting at Madison Square Garden, one of the top fighters in the world. Everything was going great. All the celebrities. I trained Katie Couric. I trained Ethan Hawke, all these great things, right? And the market crashes in 07, 08, and I lose all my clients and I'm homeless. Within 9 days. Like it's not. So guys, I mean, it can happen. We like to say in Code Red, we've seen the best of them fall. Yep. And so we have to recommit every day. And you got to really be careful. And I have to recommit to the process of watching what I eat and staying on the scale every day and making sure I drink my water every day. You've got to recommit to the process because that could be you. That could be me. That could be Carrie.
And I think that I've heard this saying, and it's a little cliche-ish, Cristy, but that's kind of what I think would be a good thing for us to kind of wrap up with, is that when you have and I'm sorry, guys, it sounds like a tattoo I would get, but attitude of gratitude. It's an attitude of gratitude. When you're grateful for where you came from, when you're grateful for those hard experiences that made you who you are, I think it's a lot more difficult to become judgmental. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally makes sense.
If you can just be grateful for where you've come and your past and who you are. I mean, we talk about our parents and growing up, and a lot of people take that very negatively, but let me just tell you something. I would not change growing up like Cristy and I did for anything.
And Carrie, I wouldn't even change the abusive ex-husband that I had to go through. I would not change the guy that I was with that stole $36,000 with me. I wouldn't, because that made me who I am today. I wouldn't give it up. I mean, look at I got asked to speak at the women's at the halfway house for women coming out of prison and transitioning back into because of what I've been through. So I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just always important to have that rear view mirror to where you can see where you came from when you get ready to move forward in your life, because and that's true with anything. Brand new nurse, brand new doctor, experienced teacher, working in the preschool, the gal who you work the fast food line, the guy who's its first day on the drive-through. I mean, these are tough experiences, and we got to remember what it was like when you first started out losing weight. Remember what it was like getting off sugar? Everyone's like, detox. You're like, yeah, you went through it too. Don't forget. It sucks.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're peeing all the time. You remember the first week you're peeing all the time because your kidneys haven't adjusted yet. Like, I just be really careful. Carrie, I forgot to do this. I would like to read a couple of reviews. I forgot to do this in the beginning, and I would love to read you guys. I know I usually do this in the beginning. I pick about 3 reviews. People left us on the podcast, but guys, we have so many reviews and they're wonderful. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for rating and reviewing the podcast. We have one from Miss Sarah Jean 82. It's entitled Tears and it has 5 stars. Today's podcast makes me tear up. I have been doing Code Red for 1.5 years. I feel shame. I've fallen off many times. I'm an emotional eater and I feel like I let you down every time I fail. I'm 35 pounds down from my original weight, and I get down within 10 pounds to goal, and then I fail. I always gain 10 pounds back before I recommit. But those extra 10 pounds make me look pregnant. So I get so tired of people asking me when my baby is due. I'm a sugar junkie, but your tough love and your encouragement helps me get back to it. Thank you for all that you do.
Have you read the one from Sandra in Montana?
Sandra in Montana. Do I just keep scrolling down, or you want to read it? Yeah, you read it.
After trying everything under the moon for weight loss, including paying for a dietitian, I found Code Red on Facebook. Cristy's plan spoke to me. So one more time, I jumped in. But this is the last time I follow the rules. The weight is going away quickly. I am never hungry. I am a rebel now and always. P.S. Can't get enough of those podcasts as they motivate me more. 5 stars. This topic was spot on. I'm a control freak at work, but a mad scientist at home, learning to control every aspect of my life. I love that. Thank you, Sandra. That is awesome.
We got another review from L. Parkman who gave us 1 star. And I was like, oh my gosh, 1 star. Well, it was a beautiful review. And I think she accidentally hit the, Lisa, I think you accidentally hit the 1 star button because your actual, I was like, oh, we got a bad one. Let me, and let me just go, let's see here. I'm going to read one more from Cristy Burke, 74. I have to admit that I came into this thinking I can do anything for 30 days. I honestly didn't think it actually worked because I'd recently tried so many things I hadn't expected to work before. After experiencing how well it worked and how good I felt, I have zero desire to go back or look back. Life used to revolve around trips and parties and gatherings that I would need to get through before I really got back on that wagon. Well, now I can navigate through all those things, stay on track, and not feel deprived. It's almost more awkward for other people than me, but you know what? They'll get over it. I keep reminding myself that nothing tastes as good as being skinny will feel. So thank you guys so much. Wow.
I love the podcast reviews. I was trying to find mine so I could read it.
I read yours one time. Obviously, you didn't hear it. I read it. I read it in one of the earlier podcasts before you started podcasting with me.
And I do remember it. I was going to make up another one. Please always carry on. It really makes the show. No, I'm teasing.
You guys, 10poundtakedown.com. We have another challenge starting. We have a challenge starting each month, monthly challenges, except for December. And don't forget, this is where the best way to get started is 10poundtakedown.com. This will allow you to dip your toe into the lifestyle for $47 without a huge commitment. You don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, you can move on with us. And from there, we can help you. I've written 4 books. We have the podcast. I have a great YouTube channel. I go live on Instagram every single morning. So guys, get connected with our groups.
Awesome, Cristy. I love this beyond words. I love talking about this subject, and I love the fact that so many people are getting on board and they're getting healthy and they're getting healed.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, have a good one. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you're not subscribed already, please be sure to do that right now. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you could do me a quick favor and rate and review this podcast. That would be just so helpful. Speaking of help, let me know if I can help you. Go to CodeRedLifestyle.com, check out my programs, and see what we can do for you. Until next time, Rebel on.